Hey guys, Jake here with another deck profile. Today I'll be doing my Magical Musketeers. They just recently got a new Link Monster Max. The deck is insane now, it's really cool. I still like the whole gimmick of being able to have literally your spells and traps be hand traps from your hand and activating them just whenever. And I think that's really cool with this deck. Just with the inclusion of Max and some other cards, the deck has become a lot better, and I'm just really excited to show you guys my Magical Musketeer deck profile. So let's get into it. First off, with the Cowboys, we'll be running 3 Caspar. Caspars are Searcher of the deck. They all have the cool with the columns, and basically just he searches, and you want to swarm your field with these guys so that your opponent's really scared of activating back row, because then you get effects going off. So Caspar is your must-have. You got to run 3. He's your Searcher. Next off, we have 3 Starfire. Starfire is basically, hey, you special summon any monster, which is really good and just helping with swarming the deck, because that's what the deck really needed was, you know, being able to swarm. Next, our favorite cowboy of all, Billy the Kid, or just Kid Brave. He is your trade-in. Just discard a Magical Musketeer to our Magical Musket card, draw 2 cards. Always good. It's always nice to have some draw power in the deck. We run 2 Doc. You don't want to see him too early, but Doc is really good because late game he just retrieves and recycles all your Magical Musketeer cards, monsters, spells, and traps, and you can just constantly recycle them over and over and over, and he's just a really good card. Finally, we run 1 Calamity because she's our Monster Reborn, and being able to bring them back is always good. Onto the spells. We have 3 Cross Domination. Basically, it's negate activation, or negate opponent's monster effect and make their attack become 0, and you can activate this during the damage step, which is such an incredible card. You gotta run 3 because this just helps make your small attack monsters get over big things and do some damage. Next, we run 1 Steady Hand, just being able to double your monster's attack points, so that because they all have lower attack, helping to push over for big things. So combining these 2 together really does some massive damage. Next, we run 3 Ties the Brethren, because you want to swarm and you want to start making the zones and the links and the columns and all that such. So Ties the Brethren, always a good card. You gotta run it. Next, we run 3 Call by the Grave, because we don't want to be Ash Blossomed or Ogred or whatever, and just really saves you in a pinch. We run 2 Pot of Desires for some draw power, and then we run 2 Pot of Duality for draw power as well. Desires, you know, of course it's always risky, but you know, just a card you can just straight up activate and all that such. And then with Duality, it really helps because activate it in their column, of course, get whatever effect off, and then being able to add any card to hand. So with Caspar, it's like, hey, you get like 2 cards, or if your opponent stops one of them, you're still getting a card in your hand. So pretty good. We're running 2 Instant Fusion, because we got some Instant Fusion targets in the extra deck. And then we're running 2 Super Poly, because Super Poly went up, and Super Poly is a really good card in any format, and you got some stuff in the extra deck to summon these with, or to, yeah, stuff you can use to summon. There you go. We run 1 Upstart Goblin because it gives you a card. We run a Monster Reborn because it's always a good card to have. And then we're running our fun gimmick, our Double or Nothing, because I bet you can tell now what we're running in the extra deck. So, onto our traps. 3 Desperado, because it just pops a card and that's always good. 3 Last Stand, being able to negate any spell or trap effect. Sorry, if it was a monster effect, you know, that'd be super broken, but it's a spell and or trap, and just really good, especially in this format where so much spell and trap stuff goes on. We run one Fiendish Deal because we like protecting our monsters, and if it dies, you get a search. And then we run a Crooked Crown, which is one of the newer cards. Crooked Crown lets you special summon, which is really good. Sadly, it is a continuous, but just being able to have something to put a Magical Musketeer out of your hand onto the field, it's always a good card, being able to special summon. Onto the extra deck, we run our instant fusion targets, our Thousand Eyes Restrict, just steal an opponent's annoying monster and then link away with it, or our Millennium Eyes Restrict, doing the same thing, but also being able to negate whatever you stole. And just really cool because it can also steal hand traps, if I read that right. Onto our super poly targets, we run one Mud Dragon of the Swamp. We run a Violet Chimera of the Salamangreats, and we run a Starving Venom Fusion Dragon because those are all good super poly targets. Onto our links, we run 3 Max. Max has literally helped the deck out so many times. Summon him, and then depending on whatever you want. If your opponent's got lots of monsters, you add spells and traps to hand. If your opponent's got a lot of back row, you special summon Musketeers to the field from deck. And he just really helps the card. It's the funny whole thing of Magical Musketeers really want to go first, but if you end up going second, then he helps in that area where they were before, which it was kind of struggling in the going second department. So he just really helps out, and he's made the deck so much better. And you have to run 3. We run a Link Karibo because you can use it for the relinquished or the restricts. We run a Cerberus and a Phoenix because we don't like monsters or back row. And then we run a Boral Load because he steals monsters, and I don't have a Boral Sword. Onto the Xyz, we have Shark Drake because he attacks directly and helps you win games. We have a Break Sword to pop some stuff. We have our Utopia, our double, because we have the double or nothing package, and just with Starfire and Calamity, they basically make it super easy to summon in this deck. And you know, any deck that runs rank 4 or level 4s to summon this guy, you gotta do the surprise factor and hit them with the 10,000 attack Utopia. And then in case you don't quite get to do that, we have the Lightning just as some backup. And that, my friends, is my Magical Musketeer deck profile. It's changed quite a bit since the last one, but now with Max out, like I said before, just the deck really goes off and is so much better. Like, I absolutely love this deck a whole lot more now, and I've been using it at locals and such, and still getting into the practice of playing this deck again. But overall, I love the deck. I love the concept of the hand traps. They're all really cool gunslingers, all that. But yeah, so that's my Magical Musketeer deck profile. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any suggestions for me, any advice, leave it in the comments below. I always love to hear from you guys. So anyways, like, subscribe, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And I will see you on the next time we do something.